Happy Saturday, Connect fam, and welcome to another episode of the Connect Network TV, right here on the CW. I'm your host, Sandy Glenn, and my co-host today, Stitches, is with me. Hey, girl.
Hey.
So Wendy is off today, and we are bringing you all the topics and strategies needed to win in the world of online entrepreneurship and social media. Well, before we go any further, we need the tea because you are all over TV and iHeartRadio across the world. Give us some of your media magic. We know that you are humble, but we want to give you your flowers. So tell us what has been transpiring.
Oh, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. It's really been a blessing. Most recently, there was a proclamation that was made. So in the month of March, there is a day dedicated Stitches Day, if you will.
Woo! What do we do to celebrate?
I'm working on it. It was also with two other ladies, that Miss Lisa Lopez and Super Cindy. So my other radio sisters as well. So just thinking of some things we can do to give back. December 17th is our book day, National Chia Bale Readers Day. So that's really for our kids eating ice cream, learning about literacy, just working on some things. And of course, Haitian Heritage Month. So just looking at the positive things that are happening within the Haitian culture and just bringing up and lifting up as much as I can. It's a lot more other stuff. This was a blessing. I will say, I got to give all God the glory. One of the things that I love is sports. So by God's grace, I was able to land some things with ESPN for March Madness and doing things with MLB. And also hopefully some more things with NHL, but still with Sportsnet in Canada. So it's been a blessing.
Amazing. I love all of this.
Thank you. And I know you got some things going on too, honey. So what about you? What's going on? What's all the things?
That's right. So this month is my birthday month, but in honor of just bringing women together and keeping collaboration at the front of everything that I do for this year, because that is connection is my word of the year. I am partnering up with our girl Stormy, who's been on the show and actually my trader. So in keeping with my word of the year, which is connection, the Slay Fit social event happened yesterday on the 24th, and it was so amazing. We had the best vendors. There was so much collaboration and connection and networking, and of course, all the healthy food and drinks and smoothies and all the things, and just bringing women together to empower and collaborate together.
I love that. Congratulations. Congrats to you, to Stormy, and all of your collaborators. Hers. Can we say that?
There you go.
I love it. That deserves a tap, tap, tap.
That's right. Well, thank you so much for that. And as we also celebrate Small Business Month, we are excited to sit down with two incredible founders that are on a mission. You won't want to miss that. But first, we got to tap into our hot topics with today's edition of Social Media Unlocked.
So many of us are building our businesses and really finding ways to tap into that social media bag, honey. But are we all utilizing the digital marketing opportunities that's set before us?
Ooh, good question, Stitch. Let's tap in.
Okay, so let's get to it. So one of the things we are seeing more of is business owners transitioning into being more content creators. So with the purpose of marketing more effectively, are you seeing this, Sandy? I want to ask you this. How will this help small business owners by tapping into content creation on social?
Well, I mean, I'll just tell you from my own personal perspective, I'm doing a lot of collaborations with other larger organizations and businesses because as someone who has a very niche specific audience, we are able to just create more opportunities for ourselves with other brands and platforms that align, right? So it's like if you have a business that is speaking to a very niche specific audience, there are so many great brands and businesses that want your content. So it's probably already products or services that you're using that you get to monetize by making them content.
This is true. And many content creators actually struggle with monetization. So what are some innovative ways you think small businesses can generate revenue just beyond the traditional sponsorships or ads?
I love this. Okay, so I have some great ones for this. So Every single person should be tapped into affiliates. So whether it's Amazon affiliates, which is super, super easy to sign up for, I think it like takes a day to sign up. So just find the products and services that you're already using and get paid for it. So it's powerful for business, talking YouTube right now, to incorporate YouTube into their marketing strategies. So I want to know from you, Stitch, have you tapped into YouTube yet?
I'll be honest with you. I started and then I fell off. This is total
Okay.
trip. We're sisters. We can be honest. That's not one of the platforms that I fully have taken advantage of as of yet. But I know a lot of people that still like that's where they make their majority of their money as being YouTubers and influencers. And I'm talking millions of dollars they make simply off of being on YouTube. And
Yeah.
some of them are 18, 19. Like these are some are actually teens and they're not, you know, all millennials. Yeah, it is still a market. What about you?
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm kind of using all the platforms. And what I want to say, I think is really important is that I didn't start off using them all. I
Yes.
started with one and then I went into the next one and the next one. And I used the compound effect to build on all the platforms that I use today. But I don't want our listeners tuning in and feeling like, oh my gosh, I have to be on all the platforms. Pick one, get good, get consistent at it, and then add another one, because then it'll be easier for you to build on that and not feel overwhelmed.
And something else that we have to talk about is actually podcasting and talk about help. Even today alone, when I was doing my radio show, it's like 10 different things at once that I'm doing. And thank God I had my assistant, Shani, bless her. Hey, Shani, with me, and I had an extra student. But now we're getting into videos and it requires so much. So I second that. If you need help, get that help. Honey, being a one-man band,
right.
Jesus.
That's
help.
right.
But podcasting, let's get into this. It has exploded in popularity. And, you know, your Slay Your Day podcast is now being heard all over the world. Cheers to you, sis. And the content everywhere is being exposed. Would you recommend posting? And how has it helped move the needle for your business, or has it?
Yeah, so I love podcasting. I'm also someone who's always loved video. For me, it's something, I mean, I came from a TV background, so I've always loved, you know, being in front of a camera. Shocker. But I do want to say that, and I was actually teaching my clients this today inside my High Performance Academy, is that it is so much easier to take one long form piece of content, use that on YouTube, and repurpose to all the other platforms. So two big things I want to say about podcasting is, number one, it's a huge asset because you are already making it long form. You just chop it up and repurpose it on all the platforms that you want to be active. And number two, it's a great connecting tool. You get to connect with other collaborators, creators, influencers, just shoot, women in business like we do here, right? So it's a great way to connect and really like give someone else a platform to help elevate their message. And it's not a, hey, you know, can I take you out for coffee? Like you're helping them to elevate their brand and their messaging while getting to have this amazing conversation.
I love it. And we can switch on this. Thank you for sharing that. Social media algorithms, organic reach is becoming increasingly challenging. So a podcast, YouTube channel, and dialing into the variety of platforms will definitely keep you at the forefront. So utilize what you can. And like Sandy said, don't stress yourself out if you're not tapping into every single media form, but find what fits you and what becomes fluid for you. So it'll just be easy.
Yes.
I remember one of our, Susie, shout out to Susie Moore. That was her thing. Make it easy.
There you go. There you go. Because you know what? If you don't make it easy, you're not going to do it. So make it easy, simplify the process, and get it done. Well, speaking of podcasts, our next guest, Kate Parker, is up first talking about her new podcast that she is relaunching. It's called Trials and Tribulations, and it is juicy. So stay close. She's coming up next.
I'm Jessica Cherry, founder of the award-winning blog Life of a Cherry Wife. If you're looking to follow for mom and lifestyle content, fashion, Latina life, and good vibes, this is the place for you. Head over to www.lifeofacherrywife.com for the latest in these areas. Follow me on social at Life of a Cherry Wife.
Welcome back, Connect fam. At the Connect Network TV, we're all about spreading awareness and empowerment through media. Today, we're joined by the inspiring Kay Parker, who is here to share her journey and the relaunch of her podcast, Trials and Tribulations. Welcome to the show, Kay.
Welcome to the show, Kay.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us again. Long hair, don't care, love it. So, Kay, let's delve straight into your mission. You've mentioned fostering a supportive community where listeners feel seen and heard. Can you tell us just a little bit more about this and how it really aligns with the relaunch of Trials and Tribulations?
Yeah, thank you so much for asking. So when I was going through one of the biggest hardships of my life, I felt very alone. And when you go to social media, we're getting better, but there's still a lot where you're like, oh, I wish I could be like them. And there's nobody going through what I'm going through. And I feel like there's many who wear a mask and you don't really know where to go to that support, how to get started. And when I decided to go and share my story on social media, I did it as a way of a little bit of a therapy. So I was just telling people my story, my deepest, darkest thoughts, and it was kind of beneficial for me. And then I started getting all these DMs saying, wow, if it wasn't for you like speaking about it, I would have never been able to heal from what you, like I was going through the same thing, but silently. And I kept on getting more and more and more of those messages. So then I decided, well, why don't I do something about it? So that's when I decided to create a community where people are seen and heard. I want to make sure that people don't feel alone.
Nice.
So I want to ask, what's the story? We all want to know.
Yeah. So before COVID, I was in a marriage. I got married and had my first baby at 21. And then I had another baby and then another baby. So my 20s were being a mom, and I was stay at home. I was a farmer's housewife. I was teaching special needs on the side in between my maternity leaves. And then my fourth baby was a late term silent miscarriage. And when that happened, I realized how privileged I was to have 3 babies with no problems. And then going through that experience, and there was so much happening during that time. My mental health was at a whole new low, and that led to a divorce and me actually taking the time to heal and do the inner work that most people avoid because you're so busy with your everyday life that nobody takes the time to really focus on you. I found that I lost myself in a wife. I lost myself in a mother, and I didn't know who I was anymore.
And I guess staying in line with that, what tips or advice would you have for our listeners or Connect family that helped you, that you're open to share?
Yeah, so I actually want to continue with the transparency. This is the first time I'm saying this publicly, but I actually gave birth this past weekend to my third miscarriage, my third late-term miscarriage. And I think that's exactly what I want to talk about, is that life doesn't stop. And especially as a woman, and the societal pressures that's on a woman, you're just expected to kind of push everything through and show up and just be this magician that does everything. And I want to let people know that take the time to grieve, take the time to feel the emotions that you're feeling, and create a support circle.
Okay, I just want to even, note on that too. I think so many women, and thank you for being so transparent, because even myself, I've had 2 boys, I've had 2 babies. There is, and I think that this also is such a needed conversation of giving yourself so much grace, especially in the beginning of that time, for what your body goes through, mentally, physically, all the things. And I think that we are so hard on ourselves to just get back to whatever that normal or that version is. And anything hard that we navigate in our lives, it's like we just expect, maybe because it's society, pushing that on us, it's like we just think that we've got to get back up immediately. So I just want to thank you for, bringing these topics to the table, because I think it normalizes for women to let them know, like, it's okay to give yourself this time.
100%. You need to give yourself time. And when you give yourself time, you actually will find out like a lot of realizations in your life. Like, you realize how short life is and how vulnerable and fragile life is. Your life can change at any time and in any moment. And that's what Kate Parker and Trials and Tribulations is about. Is this is your life. Like, live it. Do what makes you happy. Say yes to things that make you happy. Say no to things that don't. And it's very simple. It's just getting that courage to break out of societal norms and societal pressures and just really focusing on you, because you are what matters the most.
Yeah.
Light, love, humor.
Yeah.
I like it. Well, I want to dive in and talk about the relaunch. Why did you feel that it was necessary, and what changes or improvements can listeners expect?
Trials and Tribulations was made back in 2019 with over 100 episodes. I interviewed people that were homeless to celebrities. And for me, I was just all in my like therapy era where I just wanted to learn from everybody, understand how people got through their trials, so maybe I could steal some of their ideas to help me get through mine. And I was just so excited to learn more and more about people and how they progressed to get to where they wanted to be. And after 100 episodes, everybody kind of was saying the same thing. So I found myself in this little bit of a slump where I'm like, okay, but I need something more. How can I help other people more? So I took a break. I stopped Trials and Tribulations. I focused on trying to finalize my divorce, getting a grip kind of on my family and my new life as a single mom, and just staying grounded, because I didn't want to present myself as helping others when I wasn't grounded in what I was preaching, I guess I should say.
Yes.
And then once I was grounded and I had my new life in order, that's when I met Paula. And she's in her 50s and she's a refugee from Poland. And we just had such an amazing connection, and we believe and have the same goals. And that's when I realized, well, I'm in my 30s and she's in her 50s, and the healing doesn't stop. The healing never stops.
Amazing. Well, I know that there's so many women that are going to want to connect with you. So how can we find you, connect with you online and all the places?
Yeah, so at Kate Parker Official is me personally, and in there you will see the link to our Trials and Tribulations healing page. And stay tuned, because we are going to be in the studio very shortly, starting off our very first couple of interviews. So we're offering such amazing things. The guests are just absolutely fantastic women, and we're just so excited to begin this brand new journey.
I love it. Thank you so much, Karen.
Thank you.
You prove the saying, half the things that we go through is never really for us, but it's to help the next person. And that's good. Cheers to you, and God bless you. So stay close, Connect fam, because up next is Dr. Gurley. She is going to be really helping us how to build your confidence and shift your thoughts when it comes to mental health. You're not going to want to miss out on this. Get your pen and a pad, tea, water, whatever you drink in the morning. Not my business. We'll be back. To the Connect Network TV right here on the CW. I'm your girl Stitches, and amazing co-host right here, Sandy. Hi, Sandy.
Hey, hey.
So today we are diving deep into a topic that truly affects every household and community. We're talking about mental health in women, right, Sandy?
That's right, Stitches. And joining us today is the brilliant Dr. Marceline Gurley, an advocate and expert in women's mental health. Dr. Gurley, it's a pleasure to have you with us.
Happy to be here. Hello, everybody.
Hello, hello. Well, we're going to jump right in. So, Dr. Gurley, destigmatizing mental health in women is a monumental task. How can we break down these barriers and encourage this open dialogue without the judgment?
Well, first we have to shatter the myth. There's a myth out there that mental health issues is a sign of weakness. So according to the World Health Organization, depression is a leading cause of disability worldwide amongst women. in general, worldwide. So in the United States, around 1 in 5 women experience a mental health condition each year. Yet despite all of these staggering numbers, the stigma persists and silencing of women is occurring left and right. And it's because we're thinking and we've been sold the idea that having a mental health issue is a weakness. So to address the stigma, I often tell people that we're not conditioned to live to these unrealistic standards of perfection. Social media is a great platform for business, a great platform to get to know people, but it also has been tricking us into thinking that we have to be perfect, the perfect mom, the perfect friend, perfect wife, the perfect career woman and businesswoman. And this is causing a relentless pressure on us women, and we're noticing more anxiety, more depression, and a host of other mental health challenges. But the truth is, we're not crazy, we're not hysterical. We're just living life, and we just have to learn how to live it in a more harmonious way.
Doc, I want to mention this. Women, like you said, we do face unique challenges every single day, from societal pressures, as you mentioned, to balancing really multiple roles. Dr. Gurley, can you shed some light on some of these challenges and how they really impact mental well-being?
Yes, of course. So we juggle so much. We wear so many hats. We're the mom, the wife, the career woman, like I said before. We're doing all the things, right? Because we're doing all the things, we become bared down and weighted by all of the things. And we have an expectation to be the primary caregiver, the breadwinner, the homemaker. And there's a systemic sexism and gender bias out there that we have to do all of these things. When we don't, there's a lot of new things about, living the soft life and doing all those things to bring down the weights of the world on us. So what I often tell people is to not subscribe to these things, because what ends up happening is we start breaking down our own boundaries. When we start breaking those boundaries down, that's where we start having the mental health breakdowns. That's where we start having all the symptoms that come around with that, like anxiety and depression or having insomnia. We're seeing more eating disorders in women because of all of these societal pressures. Right? So unsubscribing to the societal pressure. You don't have to do these things in order to be a woman of power, in order to be a woman of standard. You just have to do what is within your scope to do. So unsubscribing to all of the notions around us. These are the things that I highly recommend.
Nice. And speaking of different things to do, trying to get through the hustle and bustle of things, as you just mentioned, can you delve just a little bit deeper into some maybe practical coping strategies that women can incorporate within their daily routines to prioritize their mental health? And I want to say women, of course, because that's our target, but even for men, I feel like it would be a bit helpful for as well.
Yes. So I am all into acronyms because I feel like acronyms stick. And I like this acronym that I created. It's called SELFIE. We are all into the selfie world. Let's take a selfie together. And the SELFIE stands for S is for self-awareness, where we cultivate the self-awareness by tuning into our thoughts, our feelings, and our needs without even judging ourselves. So many times as women, we judge ourselves. Why do I want that? How come I can't achieve that? Why don't I look like her? Why is my body, dysmorphic? All of these things that we do. So being self-aware that we're not judging ourselves. And E is engaging in exercise. Get this body moving. Our body created to move. There's lots of beautiful like dopamine and neurotransmitters that actually boost our moods and gives us more confidence if we just get up and move just a little bit. Just a little bit. And L is for leaning on our support system. Lean on your sister, lean on your friend, lean on your community and your network in order to feel connected. So many people feel disconnected is because they've decided to disconnect and not have that. So I often have to tell women, do you have some friends? Ask yourself, do I really have a friend that I can call on? F is for fostering your resilience, right? We are all wanting resilience. How do we continue to build those coping mechanisms and build those boundaries? Is by having resilience. And within the resilience, we have self-compassion, right? So, and I is invest in therapy. Invest in therapy. See a therapist. Have a therapy friend, a therapy buddy that you can speak to and unload off, right? I'm married, so I often feel like it's okay to unload on my husband when it's not, because he's not built to carry all of that information or those struggles. So having my therapist to call up and say, hey, I need some insight. I need some encouragement. I need coping mechanisms. Yes, even me. I need those things, and she helps me to stay in, like, stay plugged in. So invest in a therapist. And E is embrace balance. And I honestly don't even like the word balance. I kind of try not using my vocabulary. I'm more of a harmony person. And the reason why I say that, because I think about a symphony, there's so many different instruments that are moving. There's so many different sounds, but at each part of the song, there's a different instrument that is kind of like focused on or amplified. And it's the same thing in our lives. As our lives are moving harmoniously and in an orchestra, certain things are going to be more amplified. Right now, I'm I'm doing this as a great mom, and I'm being this as a great businesswoman or as a great career woman. But then this part of my life may be a little bit more softer, more delicate in sound. So when I look at my life that way, I'm not judging myself if everything's not balancing on the scale. I'm moving as my life moves. And that SELFIE acronym, I feel everyone can remember that. And you can look at life and really look at your mental health and really take a good assessment as to where you are mentally as a woman.
I love a good acronym. It just helps you remember. So good. Well, your expertise in women's mental health is evident. So thank you so much for these tips. And for those who may want to work with you and connect with you, what services do you offer, and why should they hire you specifically? I mean, I think we know why, but tell us.
Well, my business is called Vivid Minds Mental Care. I do psychiatric mental health care all around with diagnosing and medication management. No, I am not a therapist, but I do use therapeutic modalities in my practice to engage my patients and keep them. I practice in functional medicine, functional nutrition. I'm into your food can help your mood. So if you're looking for that, I'm your girl. You can find me at vividmindscare.com. All through all the socials, you can find that. My personal website is marcelingurley.com. If you're looking for that one-on-one, I'm there too. And same thing on socials is Marceline Gurley. That's it.
I love it. Thank you so much, Dr. Gurley, for sharing your insights and expertise with us today. Before we wrap up, though, is there any final message that you would like to leave with our Connect fam regarding women's mental health? And please tell us again how they can connect with you.
I'd like to say, don't try to live in this box of comparison. Stop comparing ourselves with everything and everyone around us. We're not all built the same, and it's okay to create your own table, because there are going to be people going to come into your table who relates with you. So don't try to be like everybody else. There's only one unique you, and we need you to be you.
Man. And since it's Haitian Heritage Month, I say merci en pile. Merci en pile. That's the word of the day. Thank you very much. That's
yes.
So, Connect fam. Thank you so much once again, Doc. One more time, where they can find you, please.
Yes, marcelingurley.com, vividmindscare.com, and on social, Dr. Marceline Gurley or Vivid Minds Mental Care.
I love it. Well, Connect fam, what another amazing show. Thank you so much, Kay, to Dr. Gurley. Thank you so much for pulling up with us today and sharing all the incredible information that you have with us. And we will see you right back here next Saturday, Connect fam. Thank you for watching.
That's right, Stitches. But until then, you can always binge watch past episodes Netflix style at our website at theconnectonline.com.
Love it. Tell somebody you love them while they can hear it and receive it. Love you for free.